me a Yabo, got me a Yabo, got me a Yabo. Oh, hello, YouTube. I better stop singing. I might chase people away because I'm singing. I'm not a singer. Don't claim to be a singer. My dad just put me in the church choir to have an extra person in the church choir. Couldn't sing, but you know how that goes. You hear that one creaky, odd voice in the group, and you're trying to figure out who it is. Well, here I am. So, but I'm kind of excited. I got me a Yabo. Got me a Yabo. Sorry for doing that again, but I just had to. Um, I got to do it the typical way that everybody does it now. Please, this is from Curtis. I'm trying to Mr. Walker from Lawn Smoke out of the, how do you say that? Brea, let's say it right, California. I'm not trying to give away your address there, sir, but out of California. Let's put it that way. Sorry if I screwed up there, but folks, I'm kind of excited about this one. Him and I had a private discussion, and I go back to, I don't ask for anything from this community other than your thoughts and prayers, because I'm still going through some medical issues that I'm going to have to contend with, and I will let people know as time goes on. I had a really, 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 really tremendously scary um, doctor's visit, um, and I don't want to say what it is until it's either official or not official. And I go, I'm dodged another bullet. But at this point, we're waiting for how we're going to do plan of attacks on this one. So I'm not crying. I'm just letting people know that I haven't been on here for a couple days, and Curtis a couple weeks ago, whatever, well, a week ago, time frame. So please bear with me. It's been a few rough days with the medical end of it. So that's the reason why I'm saying that. Please bear with me, because I might be a little rattle brained here still, because we're still waiting for doctors' phone calls back and blah 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 blah. We all know how that goes. So please bear with me. I will keep posting. I will keep people up to date. Say it correctly. Basically, um, why I'm on here besides my rant on that, so people understand where I'm at and why I haven't. And I'm going to try to keep this community in the loop, please. I love you all. You've been good to me. Your shout outs, your comments have been very special to me. And I want to keep that. And I want to keep going as best I can with this community until the good Lord says I'm no longer. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. So let's get on with and get off that subject. Like I said, Curtis from Lawn Smoke. We had a discussion, which I said a week or so ago, a week and a half ago, whatever it's been now. We were all talking about the Middle Earth hobbits and the type of pipes that they smoked. Curtis is wanting to get one. I'm wanting to get another one. I've got several of them, don't get me wrong. But there's another company out there that makes true, authentic, and I think they were the company that actually reproduced them and made them for the movie. I don't know. I think they are, and I want to get some of their pipes before the before the good Lord decides to take me. That's anyway. Let's get off that subject now. So I asked Curtis, can I do this on air? And the reason why I want to do this one on air as a VR, folks, is let's go back to this again. And I'm going to say this probably 200 million times. Keep saying it just about every video that I do. This community, the outreach of our community through social network, through YouTube, and his Pipe Club community still blows me away, folks. Okay, you got to understand why I say that. we don't know each other as face to face on a lot of. I mean, some of us we do, some of them we don't. But through this YouTube, the videos, the VRs, the review, all of like you said, videos, our reviews, and all that stuff, and our draws and our, which is our giveaways, and our passing on our knowledge, good, bad, or indifferent, and our opinions out there of the world and what's going on out there. It's amazing. I keep saying it. I know I've beaten a dead horse here, please, folks, but I got to say that the outreach. If a person is in need, we do what we can to our capabilities, and I know we have some limitations, but if you got it and you feel compelled to share it, this community does. That's the reason why I'm giving a shout out in this Yabo box opening to Curtis and Lawn Smoke. So if you haven't been on his channel, he's just a simple professor, Professor Walker. Let's say this: he has made it to the college level of student teaching. So he's teaching our younger folks and the people older that are out there. So he's doing a fantastic job in educating the public. And his opinions, in my opinion, his opinions are spot on about 99.9% of whatever he discusses and talks with, and he gets personal about. So he's a great guy to me. And I've got several friends that are there or surpassed on this YouTube channel now that really reach out to me, talk to me, and just a simple conversation back and forth that we have through the comments, through our private messages, and through even what I'm doing here right now. You guys, believe you me, it's a blessing to me and keeps me going daily with what I'm going through. So with that being said, I got a Yabo, I'm going to say that again. Curtis, thank you. Because like I said, we were talking about the Middle Earth, the Hobbits, the Lord of the Rings, the pipe weeds. Like I said, I got my first, and I'm going to say it again, I got my first pound of Middle Earth pipe weed, or and I can't even say it now. What was produced off of that series of movies where they made it. Okay, what I'm saying about that particular program and books, because it came from books. Don't get me wrong. Most TV or major movies that are made today come from somebody sitting down, putting their ideas and their story to books. I gotta tell you this. I don't read hardly at all. Okay. Now I am a tech manual reader. You got to understand what I mean by tech manual. Instructions on when you get in a box of stuff and you got to put it together. I look at the pictures. Don't get me wrong. I got that typical. Don't you have instructions? Can't you figure this out? Then you look at them first. Well, I do when it comes down to the point that I can't figure it out because I'm pretty mechanically inclined in woodworking and mechanics, some electronics, but not much. So with that being said, I don't do a lot of reading other than tech manuals for going into the fixing things, manuals in reloading guns, that type of stuff. Yeah, I read all that automotive side of it. Man, I'm into automotive. So when manuals come out and they're and the bulletins and that stuff, yeah, I read all that stuff. But when it came to a story in a book, I didn't do a lot of that reading through school. I would read the first part of a book, the middle part of a book, and then maybe the end of the book, and leave everything else out to do my reports in school. And that's how I got my grades. Because I was pretty, and I'm not saying this as a good thing or a bad thing, but I could pull my way through most books to get my book reports done when I was in high school before I graduated. So with that being said, bear with me here. I apologize, guys. I always say that I'm trying to keep things short, but then there again, there I end up. And I forgot to grab my pocket knife, folks. I did not pre-open this box. Oh, I got something here that'll work better than a pair of scissors. I just realized that, guys. Sorry to not be prepared. I tremendously apologize. I was so excited because I asked Curtis. I'm going to say this. I asked him last night, and then it's not even 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time here, a.m. I've been up since 4:30 a.m. this morning because I just don't get sleep. And my wife was heading to work, and I wanted to say goodbye to her. Wanted to take care of dogs, blah blah blah. So it's just basically taking care of life. Let me say that, folks. Uh, so I don't get much sleep at any given point at any day. I'm usually up. Now there's an occasional that I'll oversleep because my body just says, "Hey, I'm done. I'm gonna sleep today," and it happens. But most of the time, I can't get the proper amount of sleep. And that's not whining and crying about this. This is just seeing why I'm doing this so early in the morning. On my time would have been 4 o'clock this morning, crawling in here on the computer, getting my cup of coffee going, and doing a review and a VR and housekeeping, whatever the case may be. I didn't do that. Most of you guys wouldn't have got up and watched it anyway until later in the day. I understand that. But some people will understand what I go through, as in the sleep deprivation part of it. But real quick, I'm going to do this while we're on here because I am going to do some housekeeping today. I start doing it, and then I get off on a tangent and keep on going. And we all know how that works. We do that. But I'm going to do, like the Sarge says, another Savinelli saxophone. Now, this is a crude version of the saxophone. This is I can't even say it, limited. It's as far as I can tell, this is in German, or it could be, believe it or not, it might be Danish. I don't know, but I can't read it and make it out. And I don't know if anybody else can. Man, it's going to be really, I don't even know if anybody can see that, folks. But this one's very, very, very tremendously hard to see and hard to read. And to me, I can't make that out. I'm going to have to get a light on it and a magnifying glass, make it out. I don't know. Like I said, I think it comes from over on that part of the world, across the pond from the United States here. And to me, it looks like it was a very expensive pipe. This is another one of them that I restored. I do that what I'm talking about, restoration, to make a smokable pipe out of it. I don't make it where it's 100% brand new type of restoring like some of the guys do. This is another one of my little, I don't know what you want to call it. I call it a Sarge Savinelli saxophone. This one's not a completely 100% true what he's talking about. I mean, I've got several of those that are, but this is basically, I don't know if I can do this on my hand, get it balanced correctly. And there we go, folks. I just wasted part of a bowl. Here we go, folks. I'm going to let that go. I'm going to have to get my vacuum cleaner in here. And now I've got it all over my shirt. And I got just a little bit left here. And I'm going to repack this really, really, really fast. Please don't lose me, people, because I got to do this review on all of this. I've been, obviously, I bought, while we're on the subject of Middle Earth, The Hobbits, The Lord of the Rings, and I showed you the other day my 16 ounces of my um, Hobbit weed. Anyway, my Middle Earth pipe weed and my container there. I'm glad I went ahead and did that. I'm glad I bought as much that my wife would let me squeeze out and get this month. And I got to wait for another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever it ends up being, that to be able to get anything else out. So this is Shortcut to Mushrooms that I'm smoking again. Do a short, real quick review of it, a little bit more. I've learned some things, and I want to pass on this because I've heard different conflicting information out there, and some information that is kind of consistent across the board of different people that I found out. This stuff in its original form, when you get it, and by chance the bag did not get, it survived its shipping. Most of the time, um, just for him is where it comes from. We all know that. Most people that are been interested in it and they bought stuff from just for him. This is the first product that I bought from them, and I will be buying some more from them because they are some of the quickest people to get stuff to you. And Curtis from Lawn Smoke, forgive me for going off on a little bit here, but I will get back, promise, and we will get this part of it taken care of. Now, what I'm saying about just for him, they got that if it wasn't for the weekend in between this, I'd have had it in 2 days. Believe it or not, from where I live in Montana here to where they're, Springfield, Missouri, I believe it is where they're at. It didn't take no time at all to get here. Why I'm getting back on here is the reviews and people talking about it. I found out that most of the people say the same thing. I thought it was kind of dry when I got it, not super dry, don't get me wrong. It had the moisture content of a topping on it. Let's say that real quick. And I'm not going to get into the flavors and stuff because that's not what we're here for. We're here for a box opening, a Yabo. I've got a Yabo, yay. Anyway, another box opening. Just another box opening. That's what the Yabo stands for. But anyway, back to the pipe weed real quick. Anyway, the mushroom stuff is that everybody says the same thing. It needs drying time. It needs drying time. It needs drying time. Well, this little pipe, I've smoked just a small amount of it through this particular pipe. Now, I've smoked a couple other pipes, and I found out something besides what I'm going to tell you. Besides that definitely different pipes, the way they draw, the shape of them makes us different on how this tobacco burns and smokes. Everybody may think that I'm a little bit crazy here, that all tobacco should burn the same way. Well, toppings, flavorings, Virginians, um, uh, pressed tobaccos, cubed tobaccos, molasses tobacco, uh, coined tobacco. Actually, it does burn differently. And some you have to dry out better than others. And back to what I was saying real quick, then I'll get on with this. Like I was saying, everybody has told me it needs to dry, it needs to dry, it needs to dry. So here we go. I was so anxious when I got it, and I didn't do a true box opening on it. I just did a review of the tobacco itself. That they're right. Because when I first got it, I just had to pack a bowl because I had to have some because I was so excited to get this stuff. Shortcut to mushrooms. I was so excited to get it that I just packed a bowl, Didn't care because here we go again. Y'all know when I get on here, I light a pipe and I can't get it to burn. It goes out several times before the enough heat and stuff goes through the stuff till it dries out enough to where it stays burning. Usually offline is where I get it to burn and stay burning. Okay, but I found out something on this particular tobacco. I swear you can go 15 minutes to half an hour and it'll burn, but you're still fighting it just a little bit. I found out an hour is about sufficient. Because I'll go in my little tray, which I like I said showed you the other day, my little trays that I put them in to measure them and mix and set them in there to dry. Obviously, set it in there and it burns great. Okay, after about 45 minutes to an hour somewhere in there, it's good to go. Now, what I found out in the last day or so, real quick here, is that I have put it in there, say, well, I know it needs to go an hour, whatever. Okay. 2, 3 hours later, or overnight later, I go, oh, that's still sitting in there. Go back in there, crunch it up. Because it's dry. Don't get me wrong, it's dry, but it's not completely to the point where it's not smokable. It's just dry. You can blow on it, put a little bit of, how we cup our hands and blow through the bowl and our moisture from the air that we're passing from our saliva, and we're not going to get in that gross part of it. We can put a little bit of moisture back in it. But I found this hobbit weed, this shortcut to mushroom. You don't have to do that, and most of the time I'm not going to do that. Just let it set out for about an hour or so, or like I did a couple bowls of it. It actually set out almost, a lot of hours overnight, and then go back to it the next day, pack it. It packs fine. It's got just a slight enough moisture that it packs perfect. You light up your lighter, and I have not had a problem with it staying lit for me. Now, we're going online. You know how I've been online. It's like, so here's my housekeeping. Shortcut to mushrooms. I don't know who, like I said, I couldn't read it, but it's another one of those little saxophone. This is a sitter, but it's got a little spot on there that it doesn't sit really well because of the rustication, but it does sit. So, folks, don't get me wrong. As dry as it actually is, it doesn't just burn so fast that it's gone in no time. It does burn correctly, and I get a quality smoke out of it. So, and I may have to start it one more time because, like I said, since I spilt my top part that I wanted to keep. Now that was a pretty good little pinch that I put back on top of what I just dropped out. So don't get me wrong. I'm I'm just repacking it, and I know a lot of guys don't like doing that. They don't like to pack new over old and then try to smoke it. I don't have a problem with it. I have not had a bad experience with it. And I still haven't lost it. So I found a tobacco, and I've learned maybe this is what I need to do on some of my other tobacco. Let them dry out, not all the way, but dry out. I haven't lost it yet. So with all that being said, that I found a success rate here. Let's see if I can continue it on with the rest of my tobaccos. Okay, this stuff's and it'll probably go out sitting here because I need to get this box open so we can get off here. I love the flavor of this stuff. Even though it's set out like it doesn't, yes. When tobacco starts to dry out, you start to lose a little bit of your flavoring, especially if the oils dry out, that type of thing. But you do not lose almost 0% of the natural flavors in this. I still get the latakia, I still get the vanilla, I still get that earthy flavor out of it. That's just for the smoke effect, folks. Tell you that it hasn't gone out. I could have just kept on chooching on a little bit there. But the room note on this is just delicious. Got to say that the smell of this stuff is taste good on the palate. Doesn't bite the tongue, especially if you let it dry. Just like you said, dry a little bit. No tongue bite whatsoever. And what I found out, what I'm going to tell you, this pipe so far that I have met, I've smoked it out of 3 pipes so far, and this is my 4th one. This smokes the best. So this will probably end up being my standard, even though it's a Hobbit tobacco, Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, let's say whatever it is, and I want to smoke it out of my church wardens. I'll have to find, or my Middle Earth pipes, let's say it correctly, Hobbit pipes. I need to find out which one smokes it the best. But pipes, there again, they're like everything else. They one over another that they are different. And all tobaccos, depending on how dry they are, see, it's not putting off a real hard amount of smoke or anything to that effect. And I may have just lost it on my first lighting. Now, on that first lighting, when after I repacked it, you can see it stayed lit for quite some time. But let's go back to this. That's what lighters are made for, and this thing, I kind of suffocated it there a little bit, but good thing it did go out because I need to get this box open. Here again, Curtis, I hope you watch this and get through this, but thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't want to. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, folks. I got some packing wrap. Here's the favor that he did for me. Fantastic. This is so I can pack it back up and send these back to him because I don't think that he had intentions for me to keep them, and I didn't expect to keep them. This is something that he passed on to me so that I could, like I said, I don't do a heck of a lot of reading, and I kind of figured because we discussed what this was probably going to be is is the Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings, Tolkien, the Hobbit, the Fellowship, the Return of the King, and then the Two Towers. Folks, this is blows me away how this community, here again, I'm going to say this community takes care of one another. Let me get this without dropping them because I don't want to mess these books up. These are precious to both of us. Okay, this way, guys. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna. This is a series of books that I will tell you, Curtis, and everybody else out here. It's going to take me a while to read these, please. And I'm going to have time here in the next month or so to get through these. I know this for a fact because of what I'm assuming that might happen with my medical. So I'm saying that for a reason, not saying that is a bad thing, please. Curtis, here again, thank you. We discussed this. I was telling him how I haven't read, or telling the community, so I was showing Curtis my Hobbit pipes. I got some true Hobbit pipes. Anyway, a company out of Oregon, Floggle Works, I think is how you say that. They're a fantastic company out of Oregon. You can Google them or just go to floggleworks.com. It's hard. It's spelled differently than what you think in the works part of it, but you can find it online. It'll come up even if you just Google Floggleworks the way you think it's spelled, because I don't have it in front of me to give you the true correct spelling on it. But with that being said, this community is amazing. He reached out to me and said, because I was saying I don't have the books yet, I got to buy them. My wife had found them in a leather bound versions. I don't know if they're still available or not. I need to find out and see when I can scrounge up enough pennies to actually get those. Curtis said he'd be happy to loan me these. Send Now, this is with shipping and everything, to send these to me so I can read them. And then what I'm considering is sending them back because they're out of his collection. Now, don't get me wrong. He says he has several versions, several copies of these. That's immaterial. They're his books. But a guy from out of California, gentleman, a nice, fantastic person that would even offer to spend his own money. And yeah, I'm going to have to spend a little bit to send them back to him. Don't get me wrong. And I will try to take the best care that I can of them to read them. And then when I'm done and finished with them, get them boxed back up. So Curtis, very appreciative. Mr. Walker, Law and Smoke, Curtis Walker, Professor Walker, another one of our, like I said, our community people. I haven't checked on how long he's been a member. Like I tell everybody, I've been a member since 2008. And the amount of people now, when I first started on this in this community, I'm gonna ramble just a little bit because I still feel the passion here. And hopefully I'll make this short enough to get everybody off here. Is that there's a lot of trash on YouTube now. Let me say that in the manner that I'm meaning this. There's a lot of rambling. I got to say it, just trash on out there. But when you break down YouTube into communities of good people, there are some good gaming people out there. There are some people that do their arts and crafts. They're what they do for a living. They post stuff like that. And I do skim across just about everything that I can on here, but some things don't interest me. It's like anybody on this YouTube system and communities. We have what we like as our passion and our hobbies and whatever the case may be. And I bumped across a lot of these and watched videos of a lot of these just to see what these are about. Let me put it that way. What their communities, what their passions are about. So some of them don't interest me. And I know our family as a YouTube pipe community, we are all the same way when it comes to that. There's some things that you go on somebody's channel that's part of the pipe club community, and they'll have other different things that they subscribe to also. I'm no different. Okay, other stuff that we like on top of this. Because like I said, my firearm passion is unbelievable. I don't have as many people sub to on that as I do pipe club community, but I am so dyed in the wool, die hard on the firearm and my passion on that. And I'm going to say this real quick here, not to politically get into an argument with anybody, but an inanimate object, a piece of steel, a piece of wood, a piece of plastic, um, an automobile that sits out in your driveway, and I'm going to keep saying that. Matches, let me say matches, the thing that you strike and they burn, because let me put it in this aspect of where I'm going with all this, is a weapon, folks. And this is going to give you a little bit about me and my passion and how I feel about this. The inanimate object may be a role player in what's going on in society today. I understand that. But listen to me in this point that I'm trying to get at. There has to be a body, a person, or something that picks that object up to use it as a weapon. But the inanimate object in itself, because I used to do this for a living, folks, I used to sell firearms for a living. Those inanimate objects don't get up at nighttime, fill themselves with ammunition, and go running around out there in the community and shooting things and having a good old time and shooting things, and then go back to the store in the morning, clean themselves up pristine, put themselves back in the case, and get ready for the next day or that day to sell them. They don't do that. It takes a physical, human, some sort of source to pick that firearm up, that weapon up, that rock, that match, that knife, whatever it may be, that vehicle, doesn't matter, to create that. So in our society today, we need to deal with the problem, not with the firearms, not with the ARs. I'm just saying this is my little rant real quick, folks. So if I lose you, I apologize. And I know there's a lot of people out there that do agree with me, but I want to say my opinion, and I'll get off this real quick, is that it takes the human aspect of it, person that may be messed up in the mind or in the spiritual part or the body, whatever makes them snap to do what they do. That's what we need to work with through the educational system, through our government system that we have in place. I mean, this community that we have here that they said that some of these weirdos and idiots are on. Sorry to say that. We do have to deal with that on YouTube. So with that being said, let's look at the source, not the piece that they use to do it with. An inanimate object didn't jump up and go run out there, and I'm going to say this real quick. An inanimate object didn't run out there and shoot all those children and teachers. It was the person behind it that did it. They had the problem. Taking this stuff away from us as a country that has had the freedom to do this with is wrong, as far as I'm concerned. Let me get that out of my system. That's my service announcement, and that's my opinion. Please take it as my opinion. But I have to say it because I listened to stuff even last night or yesterday that just blew me away, that I don't understand. I watched a couple documentaries that are about this where they, and I'm going to say this real quick. So if you feel this way, I apologize. Taking down the statues, taking down the flags, saying that they're an abomination to the people. No, that's part of our history. That is not making or being mean to other groups of people. No, that's a part of our cultural history. Remembrance. We need to remember where we came from and learn from it. Okay? History. We need to learn that. And that goes back to all of this. Education and a society that takes care of their own with our mental health system, say it correctly, and our government with what they've got in place right now. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. You need to work with this and quit putting the blame on the inanimate object, and I'm saying that because it's not just guns, it's not just knives, it's not just rocks, it's not just baseball bat. There again, it's not just vehicles. Anything can be picked up as a weapon. I can pick up a vacuum cleaner, and I'm saying this just to try to stress my point, and use it as a weapon. Okay? There's all kinds of ways. I can use household chemicals as a weapon. So please, folks, my service announcement on my side is my opinion. Only, I'm not saying it's only my opinion, but it's my opinion. Object has nothing to do with the crime other than it's been used in the crime. Now, let me stress that. We need to take care of the source of the problem, which is the human factor. Why did they do it? Where was their mental? How can we learn from it and control it? Because it doesn't matter. England, when they banned all firearms and weapons, almost 90, I don't remember what the percentage was. I used to know it because I was on this kick. Their crime rate overnight went up because it didn't matter that the honest citizens were abiding by the law, but the people that were going to do evil, harm, whatever, no matter what, they still were able to do it. So with that being said, folks, I'm sorry, Curtis, I know since you are in that line of teaching on the legal side of it and the lawyer side of it, you understand where I'm coming from. We need to control the person, not the inanimate object that was just laying there that he picked up and used. I know people, first thing they're going to say, well, if it wasn't there for him to pick up, well, then he'll just go pick something else up. It's always going to be that way. But here again, let's get off this rant that I just wandered off on. I apologize, folks. Please don't lose me on this. Please don't go away because of this. Please don't unsub me because of this. I'm just saying this as my opinion. I love everybody out there. I love this community. Like I was saying in the beginning, all this, we take care of one of each other. And Curtis, I appreciate this hugely, big time. I told you in our conversation back and forth that we had that you didn't need to do this, but the kindness of your heart is what impressed me so much that I've got to say it's just like, and I'm gonna, I don't need to say the other people's names right off, but I could. But the other people that have reached out in their kindness just on their comments to me. Now, there's been a gentleman, I'm saying so far, that has reached out beside you, Curtis, that has done something for me that just blew me away. And yes, Curtis, you are one that blew me away. So people, you need to go to his channel. If you haven't subbed to his channel, please do. He's one of the most down to earth, loves his country, loves his military, loves the rights of community to a degree where it's safe. Now, let me say that. I kind of get that from him. It's got to be done in a safe manner. We don't need all these weirdos and wackos teaching our children in our school system that our government's a piece of junk, that our military is garbage, that we're all retards that go into the service. I was in the service. Curtis was in the service. I'm not getting off on that rampage, people. And that's just to tell you a little bit about us. And this community has so much similar beliefs. I mean, we all believe differently, but a lot of us believe similarities. Let's say it that way. That melting pot that we have works out tremendously. We learn and live with each other with this. I've been around a lot of scenarios that would blow your minds away that we have to deal with. But it still boils down to one thing. I got to say this real quick. Because I was in the side of selling firearms for a living for a tremendous amount of years. So you see a lot of things and you live through a lot of stuff and you get the attacks of people that don't agree with you doing all this and saying that all this stuff is at fault. It's not the human side of it that's causing this problem. I've been taught from a, like I said, this goes back to education, and I got to say this real quick. This is something that just hit my heart hard while I'm talking about this in a VR to somebody. I'm sorry to break into this rant, but I was raised from a very young age. The respect of property and people and property. Let me say it correctly. With respect to people and the respect to their property. And I'm talking about my mom and dad and anybody else that I lived around, or even the people that I dealt with in school, in the community, and anything. We had respect. We didn't mess with their property unless we were invited in to do something with them. Okay. I didn't walk onto somebody's property and just get in a car and drive off and then take it back and that was okay. No, either asked, and it goes back to our society that is so messed up. We're not going to get into that. I'm sorry that I rambled, but I just wanted to skim this surface real quick. Education starts in the home. Okay, the younger that you teach them, and I know it can't happen in all situations. Please, every environment's different. We're not going to get into that part of it either. Every family is not just a mom or not just a dad or mom and dad. We understand all that, the inner cities, blah, 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 blah. But if there was more education on the safe use of anything and everything as you're growing up, well, that belongs to dad, that belongs to mom. You don't mess with it. We understand how it's going to happen in some situations, no matter what you can do, what you do about it in education. But with education, which I there again starts in the home, we can control a lot more of it than what we are today. Respect of person and property. Let's get that out there. With that being said, I'm going to get off this rampage. And I apologize, folks. I got off on this. I didn't mean to, but it hit me kind of hard. But there again, Curtis Walker, Professor Walker, Law and Smoke channel. Please, I'm going to say it again. Please, please, please get on his channel. There's so many of you out there that I shout out this way. I'm going to shout out this way in your comments. However I shout it out, but I'm going to. We are a community that takes care of one another. I just cannot believe how much stuff we pass on and what we do for each other. And Curtis is one of those. He did me a huge favor, and I don't know how I'm going to repay him, but it's always, like I said, you always pay it or pass it forward for this whole community, for the respect that we have for one another. So with that being said, thank you folks for listening to my rant on all this. And I hope you made it through the video, and I hope I didn't lose a bunch of you. I will say that again because I know some of my rants that I get on kind of personal, but I'm serious about some of this. Back to what I was saying. We need to look at the human factor of this, not the inanimate object. I'm sorry to say that even again, but Professor Walker, thank you. Thank you for sending me this. I don't, like I said, I used to not read that much, but this is so special that I might even start today. I want to get into this because I am like I said, I am Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, Hobbit fanatic. I love it. I love this, this type of, there's several other different books and movies out there that I want to get to that are similar based. And I've got a few of the DVDs right now. So, but thank you, community. Please bear with me. Please keep you in your thoughts and prayers, because yes, I am going through some stuff here, because that helps me through all this. Kind words, whatever it is, folks. I'm not begging for things. I'm just letting you know. So the main issue and the thing that I'm saying here Just keep me in your mind and thoughts. And then say a silent prayer every once in a while. Oh, Kevin, Rune Dog, keep me in your thoughts and prayers. I would tremendously, tremendously, tremendously appreciate it. So thank you, folks. I'm off here. I got to get this edited just enough to get it. I got to do my starting music and my thumbnail for this. So thank you, folks, and have a blessed day and a tremendously good weekend. Because I know today it is Friday. My wife went to work at, like I said, got me up. But anyway, let's have an enjoyable weekend. Let's enjoy life because life is short if you really, really super think about it on this earth for all of us. Where we end up after this, who knows? After this earth. I hope in my own feelings and my own beliefs, I'm setting aside our Lord and Maker. And I don't, whatever you guys' opinions are, but that's my opinion. And that's what keeps my faith going every day, that He will bless me and take care of me. With all that being said, have a good weekend. Enjoy it. And I'm going to say this last thing and get off here. Hello, Pipe Cat. Hope somebody passes this on and says, yes, I said something to Pipe Cat. I'm still here, Larry. And we need to hear some more things about your Blackstone Valley Pipe Club community. Get it all spit out in one massive thing. See what our next meeting's going to be and see how I can finally, if I even have to get somebody to do a video chat back and forth while or something so we can on our smartphones and all this stuff, this technology that we have out here. But people that are in that area, I'm going to give one real quick shout out and get off here. If you're in that area and you can get a hold of Larry off of Pipe Cat's channel and you want to join them in wherever they're going to be, we don't know from meeting to meeting where we're going to be because we only had one meeting so far. And unfortunately, I'm in Montana and he's in Massachusetts. That I can't get there. Obviously, I can't afford to get there. I want to be there. So I'm there in spirit and heart because we had a heart-to-heart talk about this a month or so ago. And I think it's a neat thing that he's doing. And I think something that needs to grow in that area. So with that being said, thank you, Pipe Cat. I hope things are well for you. And Grandpa Smoking Bones, let me give another real quick shout out to him too. Hope he's doing well and hope he can get out. Hope the weather's said the weather was supposed to be icky though today or yesterday, whatever. But let's hope good for all of our community, not just the ones I just shouted out. Everybody that's out there. I've got a lot of friends on this community, and I've got some best friends and some of the best good quality friends that you'll ever want on this community. So thank you all and good day. Got to get off here. Let people get to work. Let me get to my other stuff here, like make another cup of coffee. So I got a yabo. I got a yabo. Goodbye.